Cool. Let's do.
Nice setup, Todd. Get my dude beyond
Very
that.
much. Oh, that is not the right screen. All right, just a sec. We'll go to the multi. Oh, that is, yeah, all right. Let's do this thing. I have too many buttons to hit here. Hi, internet. Just give us a sec while we sort the hamsters. I swear to God, I do feed them. All right. Hey. Hi, internet. My name is Todd, and we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. We're just kind of gathering up the players and gathering up the story, and I found my book, so that's a good thing. I do have to say one thing is I'm enjoying this. Is my very first time running a module at admission time. First time running a module, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's I'm having a good time, and I don't have to invent everything, but I kind of do. I also, in case you guys didn't know, I do miss Shadowrun, and I've been releasing a lot of the previously recorded Shadowrun stuff. So I'm going to be doing that over the next little while as well. I might even do some reruns out to Twitch, just because it's been over 2 years on some of this stuff, or a year and a half. And I know it's not live, but I like putting out Shadowrun stuff. And we're still going to be making some characters, because I know these guys have done a bit of that as well. And I want to continue doing that as schedule allows. So that's kind of the plan going forward. But let's go around the room, make some announcements, and get ourselves ready to rock and roll. Fair enough? I think we'll leave it on this screen until my buddy Carl arrives. He's going to join us again. He's got to bring in the morals to this group, apparently. No pressure. That's not going to be a challenge at all. So, yeah, take it away. Who wants it? Who wants it?
Oh, right, we're just staying on the screen, so it is just whoever wants to do it. I'll do it then. Hi, I'm Darcy.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks for the
raid, Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits.
Yeah, Darcy
I was just
Bits.
streaming before this. So.
Awesome.
It was fun.
And thanks for bringing along some
Nothing to say
viewers and
about
everything. Yeah, we loves interactive viewers, which reminds me, if anybody is new here and hasn't heard this before, I'm happy to have suggestions for in-game, and we'll try our best to incorporate it as seamlessly as possible. And generally, we do some creative stuff here. I'm pretty pleased. In the room with a bunch of some pretty darn good improvisers. I must say, I don't know if you guys have that as background, but hey, you do now. So I'm excited to make that part of our game and make the internet part of our game. So jump on the chat and say hey, or
If you don't have something as a background, just do it, and then you'll have the background in the future.
It's true. And we do cut twos, we do cut backs. You can do like flashback to when Fenris first discovered that he was afraid of hamsters. Apparently it's a hamster themed night. But that's now a canon. I don't know.
He's afraid of hamsters?
He is now.
Now canon, okay. All right.
Remember that.
Maybe.
I mean, he would be if we flashed back to it and established it.
It's true. So internet, if you want to make that happen, we use what's called a plot point system. And you just basically say you want to spend a plot point, and I think there's a point counter for views. But anyway, basically, if we can, we'll incorporate it right away. If not, put it on that point redeem thing, and we'll work it into the game as soon as possible. In fact, that reminds me, I'm going to open that up because I've got a couple on the list that I want to add. Shout out to people who've done that before. Valexion and, of course, Yalfan and Gemini Twin and so on. They're as much of this game as any of us are, I think. All right.
I think if I'm not mistaken, like general suggestions, go for it. But those you can redeem points to like give them a nice label, and we'll not miss them.
It helps me to keep track of like, oh right, I have to remember to work that into the plot if it's not like one of those things that's easy to work in right away. So yeah, that's the benefit of doing the points. But by all means, we'll definitely try to incorporate regardless of any points you might feel like spending. And let's just keep going around the horn.
20,000.
Why don't you take it away there, Bella?
Oh, me. Okay. I am Bela, aka Darmita, the Gloomstalker Ranger. And yeah, she was actually, I think, kind of tame last game. In comparison to her normal ambiguity. So, we'll see how today goes.
We were alone in a tunnel. Can't do much harm.
And like when you're up against some random demons, I mean, that is your chosen prey. So it kind of makes sense that you're not going to have a lot of like moral ambiguity about slaughtering them by the heck.
They are my favorite.
Honestly, watching you work has definitely piqued the interest of a couple of the demons and so on. Oh, actually, before I forget, I also want to comment on the very nice shirt you're wearing. So I don't usually comment on the clothing of my players, but this is an important message that I think warrants a little bit of a heads up. We're in Canada, and I think actually, I don't know if it's international, but
I don't think this particular campaign is international, but there are other campaigns in the US.
Absolutely, and it's, of course, Orange Shirt Day, and acknowledging the impact and overcoming resilience and the history and hopefully the lessons we all need to learn, whether you are a settler or whether you are First Nations or Inuit or Métis. So, and if you're south of the border, Native American. So we acknowledge that, and yeah, absolutely a huge issue that we all need to be aware of and make part of our daily lives. So thank you for letting us, thank you for reminding me with your bright orange shirt.
Which I joked with my students earlier today. Orange isn't my color. It doesn't go with this skin tone. But that's okay.
It's a conversation start, which is probably the most useful thing. I have to say, I think I saw like kids in a playground, all like a bunch of them wearing orange. It's a nice color. It's not worn enough. So, but I'm glad that it's got a good message behind it, or at least one that we should listen to. Even though it can be a bit harsh to learn some of that. But anyway, we're not going to get into all of that. But if you are interested, by all means, check out the Orange Shirt Day. There's some great websites out there. And we should all educate ourselves. Because guess what? I know that me growing up in the 90s, I didn't learn jack. Not properly. And so it's important we all fix that up a little bit. Because we done got taught wrong. At least for myself. Speaking from my experience.
Birdess said, very fall color, which is nice too.
That's true. Thank you, Birdus, and welcome to the channel. All right, we were going around the horn, so Gordon, welcome to the channel.
I'm Gordon. Thank you, and I play Fenris, the Shadow Sorcerer. Last session I think he was a little bit more agitated, just with the circumstances, just around also just being caught off guard with a reunion with an old acquaintance.
Plus, honestly, you're hanging out in like the hallowed halls of your like stated nemesis.
Pretty much, yeah. So he's a little bit kind of getting a little bit more, I want to say a bit frazzled, and so that's kind of showing a bit more from his generally cool, aloof demeanor. But we'll see what happens in this session.
Are you saying he's fraying? Are you saying that the pressure of hells are getting to you? Now, before we go on, I do want to talk about a little bit about your other thing that you've got coming up. So, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I've mentioned it, and thank you for bringing it up, Todd, and mentioning it as well, that I've got a board game that is coming out, and the Kickstarter campaign launches officially on October 13th, and the board game is called Lost Ones, and it's set in a game world that I've released, and I've already had a previous game in that setting, and there's intertwining stories, but you can play this as a standalone, and the synopsis is basically you've been kidnapped by Fae and brought to the other world, and now you need to find a way home or be lost forever.
Nice, and that's Lost Ones, and we're looking forward to playing that on stream as well. Although we did do kind of a themed D&D game not too long ago. I think that's on the YouTubes, so we're hoping to showcase that too.
Cool.
Alrighty. We are waiting on one other player as my internet. Actually, it's not even my internet that's giving me trouble. It's just this. All right, just me, just all this. This is giving me trouble right here. So we are just going to be waiting on one other player in a few minutes. We'll work him in as soon as he can. And otherwise, yeah, let's... so for those who may just be joining us, and we'd love for new people to jump in and not feel that the bar is set too high. All these people are sketchy people with questionable backgrounds and have done lots of murder. I don't know about Philees, actually. Philees might be good people. I don't know. She's definitely like... I figure with all the murder, she did feed a body to your mimic pet.
He is the kind of morally ambiguous, which is not, I'm going to kill you. It's the mad scientist with no ethics.
Yeah, it's kind of the, I'm not going to stop anyone murdering you, but I won't do it myself. I mean, yeah. Don't do this in real life. I might
stop someone from killing you,
yeah,
but then I'll like experiment on your body.
Yeah, well, you know, you're very nature-based, and they're not using it anymore. It's very natural to just. No,
I will definitely build myself a flesh golem given the opportunity.
Speaking of which, so
I wanted that.
Okay, we got goals to work towards now.
Hashtag life goals.
Yeah.
Totally see that Darmita would really enjoy that. Just saying.
Okay. Note. I'm just gonna write that down. You guys think I'm kidding?
So we're in a church. Do you have any like scripts on how to make a flesh golem? You're just lying around. I know that's a cleric thing.
So, quick recap. You guys, for those of you who know the module, you can play along at home and see how we mess things up. But basically, these guys got pulled into Avernus. They're in the top layer of the Nine Hells. They are there at the same time as the city El Terrell, a bit of a holier-than-thou place, has been sucked in and is slowly being chained and ratcheted down towards the River Styx. The eternal war between demons and devils is raging below. Yeah, those two don't get along, and neither do angels, but, you know, they're very much not around. And so the devils are trying to attack the demons, and the demons are attacking anything. And the devils somebody has caused this city to fall. Probably, I think you guys have pieced together that it's the Eye of Pelor. If not, spoiler. So they're Fenris's nemesis, the Eye of Pelor, is up to no good, and you guys have been sucked in and are inadvertently saving a bunch of people along the way. Definitely trying to save your own skins as well. And this brings us to you encountering, and Gordon mentioned, your old one-time ally, named Henrietta, a bard paladin who was once Darcy's character, and then moved into NPC status. She's mine now. So we'll be hearing a bit from her as well. So you rescued her, saved her from the cursed helm, and demonic and pelorific, that's a new thing, that's what I'm going to call it, influences, and freed her from that and found out some important information. And I quote, you have to get, hold on, I will, Carl's here just in time, so we'll jump in just a sec. Let's get him on the stream. Hope he's wearing pants. Hey, I'm glad you're wearing clothes because we're live. There we go. Oh, he's not on the audio yet.
Hello?
Oh, there he is. Hey, Carl. Good to see you.
How's it going? Likewise.
He joined us last game, and he's jumping in on this game, too.
Yeah, it took a little while to put the little one to bed, so...
Oh, don't I know it. I know that story, man. I know that.
So let me go on Roll20 there.
Absolutely. We use Roll20, and we're going to get this party started in just a few moments to the dulcet tones of Terrible Pain. How's that sound?
Yay!
That was so fun.
That reminds me, did we come up with a name for last week?
I
Sure.
did give it a name, but I'm welcome to change it. In internet, we always take name suggestions either towards the end or midway through. You're welcome to do that too, and players as well. All right, so we're gonna get our Roll20 on and begin the game. And actually, since you're here, Carl, you can mention a little bit about your character for the internet and also for myself, so I remember what you're doing.
All right, so just a description of the character or a little bit, like
It's up to
how much
you,
do you
man.
want to know?
Just don't give away too much, but yeah. Who are you playing tonight?
All right, well, I'm playing Falurie. Falurie is an Arakocra monk, the Way of the Shadow, so very stealthy, sneaky type. Ended up in the dungeon. She was trying to chase a prey as a bounty hunter. That's one of her tasks to do, and somehow got stuck in a very enclosed area. None too pleased, and luckily
Bird is birdess.
that's
Good.
right, bird
Friend.
Birdie friend. Buddy.
That's correct. So luckily met this wonderful bunch of misfits to help continue the quest.
Sure. Say nothing, people. He thinks you're good.
I mean, I just discovered for the first time that you're Way of the Shadows, so everything is thrown into suspect now.
Yeah, because earlier you were saying, lawful good. Yeah.
Didn't say lawful good. Said,
Oh, no, no one said that.
Whoa. Nobody said we're lawful good.
hey, Tom, could you send me the link for
It's good in it.
Roll20?
Okay, sure. I'll do that in just a moment. Okay, so you ended up inadvertently landing in hell. Actually, that reminds me. I'm kind of curious to find out in game. Actually, maybe I won't ask this, but does your character even know that they're in hell?
I told them.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
Aside from the fact that it's a little warmer than what he's used to. She's used to, sorry.
Is anybody else hot in here? All right, so
I need a bird bath.
Molding?
yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm sure there'll be lots of bird-related puns tonight. Let's keep them locked and loaded, and we'll come right on back. All right, guys, so let's dive in. You find yourselves in what was once a beautiful hall. This is the seat of Pelor worship in pretty much the whole northern realm near where you guys are familiar with. And it is now desecrated. It has been... all the stained glass windows have been shattered, or most of them anyway. The devils have raided in here and desecrated large sections of the temple. The very altar where you just finally cleared and released Henrietta from her curse, it still has bloodstains and ichor on it. The air clings hot, the sulfur smell and the stench of rot and iron tinged air hangs heavy all around you. It's almost impossible to feel comfortable anywhere in the hells, especially for you, Fenris, being in both a holy and unholy place all at once. Henrietta has sat up and is sharing with you what she knew about what she saw in the helm when she was having those visions. And I believe I know Darcy, you're gonna laugh at this, and just give it a sec.
Okay. I don't know what the hell you're doing here, but I guess you'll have to do. No. Wait a minute. What the hell are you doing here?
Well, I think we need to talk.
You're bloody
The
right
last
we
time-
need to talk.
The last I saw you, we left you at that inn.
The last I saw you, you had just stabbed a man.
Yeah, murderer.
Have you got that out to your system?
Honestly, I don't think it's any of your business. Maybe we should just have a quick chat and catch up.
I don't know if this is the time or place. And after all, you've seen the things that have been here. And who are the rest of you?
They're a group of people that...
Hey, Felicia the Thunder! Hello!
Hello.
Introducing Philees, a former prisoner of your order.
Well, at least we have that in common. Little.
Yeah.
And she stumbles over something in Gnomish.
Ooh, that's an interesting point. I heard some people escaped from the prison I was in, and I, as a player, know that she was one of them. Do I have any concept here? I don't know. Depends on what people were talking about. If there was anything iconic about the people who left in a way that would be able to be shared around the prison. I wasn't there that long, to be fair.
Could always
But,
spend
yeah.
a plot point.
You could
That's a good
spend
point.
plot. Oh, I'll turn off.
The Henrietta voice.
I don't think it works.
No, I was gonna ask. What do you think? Yay or nay, voice internet? Not Darcy. You know, I mean, I can.
Darcy.
Darcy, I understand. It's his character. He's a little too close to it.
Well, also you just sound like a robot who's
Well,
in
that's
a tunnel.
yeah. That's always the issue with voice mod stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yay or nay,
It
internet.
seemed like maybe there's something else hanging over her, and maybe there is. I don't know.
Well, it's just mostly to stop me from having a talk like this all the time. I suppose I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at that.
Oh, I appreciate that. All right,
So are you telling me that you were a prisoner?
Your little stunt. You seem to have gotten off scot-free, but not everybody does. They hauled in everybody who seemed to be helping you, including one of my good mates who was, I believe, somehow Where is Johannes? Is he here? Is he in hell? I mean, yet.
As far as I know, no. Johannes and the rest of us split up before we went back into the jail.
All right.
We were looking for someone, and then things got a little bit difficult. And long story short, I killed Alstrin, and we ended up here.
You
killed Austrian.
You're welcome. By
Well,
the way,
He was a prick. He's a right. From what I can tell, anyway.
he was
He
more
was-
than that. He was dealing with devils. And this Eye of Pelor, this whole situation is because of the Eye of Pelor.
Now, she nods. It doesn't seem... do an insight check for me, Fenris.
Okie dokie. Ugh, 9, just average.
She just kind of shrugs, just... All right. Well, I knew he was a prick. So, you've had your I'll try to use her voice.
You've had your revenge then. Alright. Hope you got it out to your system. But, believe it or not, there are bigger monsters here than even yourself.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
mean, much bigger, badder monsters than those that would go out and save, wandering paladins getting themselves into trouble,
Oh, I remember doing some saving myself.
So I'm just looking at her. On that note, you were cursed by this helmet, and this altar helped you.
Aye.
One of the reasons why I didn't know it was you, and one of the reasons why we went out to find the commander, and I point to Farah, was to aid us, to give us a favor. And I'm going to look over. Do I see Benkuhm nearby?
Benkuhm is nearby. He's standing probably about... Actually, he was hanging out way at the back, keeping an eye out for any trouble. But during this conversation, I mean, you've got your mage hand is holding the helm of True Sight, somewhere in between you and her. During this conversation, he's quietly been working his way around, and just kind of peering out the broken windows off on the far side, just a little bit around the main altar there. And Henrietta, with the help from Farah and Seltern, I mean, she's a pretty hefty she's in plate mail, but she's got a big build, and definitely she's pretty tough, and she's able to stand, but she's pretty roughed. So they're helping her walk a little bit forward. So he's just kind of within eyesight up to your left.
Okay, but he's not like right in our vicinity.
No.
Okay. I mean, what I'll say is that we need to use that again to help someone else who's been cursed. I just kind of whispered the last bit very gently.
Apparently that's
going around. All right.
Yeah.
Farah looks at you kind of she's been holding Henrietta up, so you wouldn't have been able to say that to her without actually Farah hearing, and she looks at you and kind of gives a kind of not a questioning look so much as a just seeking like a bit of surprise. Farah being the half-orc acolyte who's been helping you in lieu of anyone else with some rank in the Pelor clergy, I suppose the word is.
Clergy?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of look at her and I say that is actually the boon that I sought when I agreed to help you.
Well, all right. We can do that. I'm a little tired, but I don't like spending much time up here. We've been sending out scouts to find food, but the longer we stay up here, the more likely we are to be seen.
Well, they know you're here, correct?
They know there are survivors, but they don't know the way into the catacombs necessarily.
Can you do this again, or you need to rest first?
I think I can.
If it needs doing, I'll do it too.
Henrietta tries to stand on her own and immediately her knees buckle. She's been through a lot.
Are you sure we can spend the night downstairs, regroup, rest up, and then do this tomorrow? Or
this is the first
kind of asking.
This is the first time you've seen a flash of the Henrietta you knew a little bit prior to all the complications, where she gives you this fairly withering look of she's just like,
I'll be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna actually approach. Where's Darmita?
I am standing over with the old man.
Oh yeah.
I need to have. I think the time is ripe.
Absolutely. The old man is busy holding his one sore hand that's it's got red all over, and there's a matching face print, hand palm print on Henrietta's face. And he's like, ooh, she's a tough one, that one. Yes?
I'm just gonna gently but also firmly take him square by the shoulders and turn him toward me and look in my eyes. You need to tell me, who are you? What is your name? Think.
Oh, I can tell you that. My name and my rank was the Holy Cavalry of the 8th Division, and we were sent here, not here, but just out in the hells, and we came, and we were here to do something. My name, was Lulander de Standa Sanana Suna. They called me Lulu.
Is he coherent?
He actually is. It sounded like a lot of rambling, but then yes. They called me Lulu. It was annoying at first, but I came to like it.
Oh my god.
Are you okay, my dear? Would you like a stone? He reaches into his little bag of pebbles, pulls one out. This one's very spiky.
Okay. What do your stones do?
Most of them, nothing. But I found a few of them. I'm sorry. Some parts are still missing, I'm afraid. But I remember that your mother Nishida, yes, she had them. How did she get them? I wasn't there but she told me, she spoke to me. And then the next section he says without moving his lips, as he's speaking directly to you telepathically. Yes, you see, she called me and needed me to help her. I was afraid, but I came out to try and help her. It'd been years, but by the time I got there, the eye had already, and she was broken on the rocks. But she said, I remember, she said, Lulu, the rocks, you must find. And I saw her, in my mind, throw them, a handful of these. Well, you know, you've seen them, haven't you? You've been keeping them very safe. Yes, and she kept them, and she couldn't tell me why, but I do know that the eye should never find them. The eye should never be able, for there will be nothing stopping the eye then from.
What do they do? You need to explain to me.
Well, they are
Purpose and why the eye can't.
Waystones.
Waystones.
They attune. For the planes are very, very separate, and that's a good thing. Otherwise, all the places would look like this place. But anyway, so they allow the gates to dial into particular. So we use them. You see, the eye convinced the mighty one to help gather these, to tune the waygates so that we could send the forces. Yes, and our forces, oh, it was beautiful. Many squadrons. Yes, all lined, all marching. Us, the eye on my back, proud, riding into the gates of hell itself. And then I'm afraid I've forgotten parts. I'm sorry, my dear. I seem to have wet myself.
It's okay, Lulu. Let's find you some clean clothes. You've done a lot.
But there is more. Her, and she said, the bleeding citadel. Yes. I remember and Kronk, and Chonk, and feathers. You got the better bit of the feathers, yes.
The feathers?
Yes. I
can't
forget so much, but I remember the feathers. Black as night. Echoes in the dark. It was like a game at first, and then feathers, and they helped me.
Why are you looking at me, Sti?
Oh, you have beautiful feathers. I don't believe we've met. My name is Lulu.
Yes, I got that, Lulu. What do you want with feathers?
Oh, your feathers are nice. Well, I have some of my own, and not as many anymore. But, no, these were not the same. Not the same. If we leave, I think I remember the path. I remember. There was the river and then the feathers and clonk and chonk. Yes, and we went, and I think I could find. Yes. If I could, they would know. They might. We should go. I can change later. We should go.
No. We need to deal with something before we go, Lulu. Fenris and I. You remember Fenris, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Fenris and Philees and I, we have something to do. That's really important.
Oh, by all means.
So, and we might need you.
Yeah, I will be here.
So, yeah, you might go change.
Digitation.
Nice. Good use.
Good use. And
I appear to be ready. Where are we going? Can we go?
We will in a minute. Can I just go talk with
Absolutely.
Fenris?
Yep.
Good.
So you walk over to Fenris, and everybody else is kind of doing their thing. Fenris is staring looking back and forth between Henrietta, who's kind of gathering herself and eating a good berry from Seltern, and Benkuhm standing off in a corner. He's now walked over and is kind of picking at the altar, kind of kicking it with one foot, kind of mussing it about a little bit.
Archibald has looked over to Fenris and has been like, "You could do that the whole time. I thought only Johannes had that. Come on, hook me up. Come on." I look terrible right now.
So walking over and kind of smelling the urine and clearing prestidigitation again.
It doesn't take you very long at all.
Kind of look at I look at Darmita, and I look at the old man, and I look back at Darmita, and I look at Benkuhm, and I look at Darmita, and I say, that altar can cure it. And the commander will help. And Farah.
Do you think we need Lulu to help?
I have no idea, but we need to get him on the altar. And not...
How?
Well...
He's not going to do it willingly.
I think there's two things. You could either convince him, or I could hold him.
Fat chance. He doesn't see me anymore. You've seen that.
Well, then I can hold him for a little while.
Behind me. I don't know. It'll be a battle, though. He won't go easily.
The longer we wait, the worse it'll get.
I agree. Before we do that, did you hear any of what Lulu was saying to me?
I heard enough to say that his name was Lulu, and something about the stones that I think we've already figured out can open portals to different planes.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to get those back. I think we've really screwed something up.
Yeah. And then...
We'll alarm him.
Feathers. That's about it.
I don't know. I think right now, because we're struggling with watching our back, because I don't know what Benkuhm's gonna do. So he's not himself. You know that.
He's slowly being possessed by a demon. Or a devil or something.
Maybe... Actually, I'm wondering, just a thought. Him and Philees have been getting closer. Maybe, she can help a little bit. He seems to be quite curious with her mimic. I don't know. Maybe, what do you think? Maybe we should talk to her and ask her thoughts. I don't want to alarm anybody, but she seems level-headed.
Okay. How about you? I don't want us to all seem conspicuous. How about you give her, go over and chat with her?
Okay.
I'll be over by the commander and Farah, and I'll start preparing them one way or another.
At this point, Farah comes over and says, it would be helpful if we could get some fresh holy water from below and maybe give Commander Pedersen, I know she says she doesn't want a break, but a short break might be handy.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. We need to prepare ourselves.
Yeah.
All right.
And then just as before I walk away from Fenris, I will just lean up a little closer and just whisper, can you just look into our new colleague?
All right.
Just out of nowhere.
Okay.
I might be a little curious. So just maybe, you seem to be pretty good at looking into people and seeing who they are. So yeah. And then I'll walk off to find Philees.
Sure. At this point, Henrietta and Farah and Seltern and the rest of you are starting to make your way down below to take a quick break, and but Falurie is still up on a perch, a little ways, keeping an eye out for any demons and or devils in the vicinity.
So we've decided to head down. We've started walking.
Some of you are
Has
still
anyone
up
said anything
top.
to Benkuhm about that? Is he?
No.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured.
No, Benkuhm. Most people are giving him a pretty wide berth, and anyone who's other than you guys, he kind of stares at you and grumbles.
Okay.
We should go kill things. There's stuff out there needs to die.
Well, I do think there's a few things we need to wrap up here first, or at least a little bit of preparation. But I am ready to get off of this flying rock. I wish I had some idea of how to actually assist anything, change the situation here. It seems very stagnant to me. I don't really know what to do. But getting down to the surface seems quite doable at this juncture.
Benkuhm looks around as you're saying this, and he's like, all these people are going to die. But I'm not going to stay here and die with them. We should
you
go.
can come with me.
Mm.
I do intend that one way or the other I will be sort of moving on, but I don't know if there's other business that Fenris and Darmita have to deal with. I think probably like during those other scenes, I was more talking with like Seltern and Farah about like little preparations I want to do, but I do plan on like leaving soon, that kind of thing.
Sure. Seltern does say that he'll give you some of the good berries that you guys brought back from the cemetery. There's
part of what I am thinking about. I'd like to introduce you to a couple of friends. Hopefully they won't mind the new environment, but then they should be able to help you at least be a bit more stable for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be
Before
great. Yes, thank you. Any help? We've got 120 hungry people down there.
I was actually wondering if we could possibly take some of that holy water off of your hands if it's continuously coming back.
We have enough. You can take some, yes. We'll get some.
Do you have any vessels?
We have some down in the vestment chamber.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, this is just like a conversation about.
Absolutely. She arranges flasks and water skins and so on that you can take bunches of holy water with. All right. Who wants to go now?
You know what? Cut to Falurie. I'll walk up.
Sure.
And I'll look up and say, and I still should have see invisibility going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, see anything?
Falurie, can you do a perception check for me, please?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second. That would be a 12.
All right. So far, nothing in the vicinity. It's comforting to be above ground again. You wouldn't admit it to very many people necessarily, but that was pretty much your version of hell below. So above, it's a little better, even though it is literally hell above. But at least it's open skies. The skies are roiling and dark, kind of reddish in tint, and then there's flashes of lightning. And there's a large orb hovering above the city.
So, what are you guys planning? I could not hear what you guys were talking about. Are we getting off this rock?
We're going to be leaving soon. We have a little bit of unfinished business, but we're going to have to go and figure out a way out of this mess.
If you're looking at getting to find a way out of here, I'm all for following you and assisting to get off this so I can continue with my quest. But let's do it.
What's that quest again? You were searching for an elf? Is that right?
Well, you see, the way I ended up here, I was chasing one of my marks and who had stolen a very valuable artifact from our monastery. Got into a fight with her, and next thing I know, I get pushed into this portal and end up in the depths of hell, unconscious, and I woke up. Now I'm trying to get out of here so I can go back on the descent of my mark and bring back that artifact back to my monastery.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that.
So any way that I can assist you guys to assist me to get out, I will do. Not a big fan of going below. I prefer having open space where I can see, where I can hide. But again, sacrifices have to be made, and
You
I'll
said
go with
a monastery. Are you some type of order, a priestly order?
yes. Well, not priestly order, but member of an order of sorts. Have you heard of the Soaring Shadows? I hope not, but
I don't
You
know.
can go ahead and do an Arcana check, Fenris.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, I would have guessed history.
Or history, whichever one you prefer. Slightly different DCs.
Arcana. 18.
That's pretty good. You don't know that one in particular, but you are aware of the structure of the planes, having been trained by your parents in what you now are piecing together, the knowledge of planar travel and the knowledge of waygates. They mentioned when you learned about the airplane, the plane of air, not the airplane, the plane of air where the Arakocra live is there were monkly orders that were said to kind of help guard various sections of the plane of air. Their society was structured in different castes, and one of those was kind of a ritualistic, not a religion per se, but a monastery of sorts. You've heard of them mentioned monasteries in the floating islands that inhabit the plane of air.
So I vaguely heard reference in the plane of air, but not really specifically of that.
Not specific
order.
to a shadow one, no.
That's what I said, Falurie.
Actually, hold on one second. With an 18, you being all about shadows, you are aware that there was a flashback to your mother sitting in a cottage. You guys had been there for a week, which felt like ages. Usually you're on the move a lot. And you vaguely remember you called him uncle, but it wasn't actually an uncle, coming in at one point. You were busy playing with something on the ground in the cottage, a doll you'd made out of wood, actually. And you remember this uncle talking to your mother about getting word from the allies on the plane of air. The link is weak, but we got word through. They're doing well. Perhaps we can seek some assistance from them when the time is right, your mother replied, kind of glancing over at you and mixing something and preparing a potion of sorts.
Okay.
And then cut back to now.
So Falurie, all I know is a bit of a reference to the plane of air from my background. And you said something about soaring shadow as well. I have a certain affinity with shadows, and we can put it that way.
Falurie, this is the first time that you've really seen Fenris up close and in better light than the tunnels below, and not feeling so oppressed. You can take it in a little bit better. This is the first time you've noticed his eyes. In place of a regular color, brown or blue, his eyes have a golden tint to them.
You are an odd one, aren't you? For someone who likes the shadows, you seem to have bright eyes. What's your story?
My parents raised me, and I was born under a sign that resulted in me being very blessed with magic in shadows, and it comes to me naturally. And because it's different, my family was persecuted, and my parents were slain, and that's about it.
So what are you doing here? Are you looking for revenge?
I mainly already got most of the revenge I needed to get. Now we're just stuck here in hell, and we need to get out.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess for now, we'll be friends. We'll see after.
Sure.
All right. Let's get the fuck out.
And I'll just motion him to go down. Like, I think we're gonna follow the rest, and
Absolutely.
kind of take a bit of a break before we.
Sure,
finish
yeah.
our
You
business.
guys head back down below into the secret passage that leads to the crypt beneath, sealing it behind you. Benkuhm kind of grumping off into a corner. Archibald chatting away with. Actually, of all people, he's talking with Farah, the orc acolyte who at one point was his teacher. I was your teacher. Sorry, do you guys remember that ad from the 80s? Internet, do you remember that ad from the 80s? Anybody? Just curious. All right, sorry, ADHD
What?
kicking in.
I remember the ad.
Yeah, all right, good.
Was it a Canadian thing or an American thing? Because remember, I did grow
It
up
was
in
an
the...
oil of Olay ad, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
It was like, so as a teacher. Huh?
Anyway,
It was probably an English ad, and I only followed French TV when I was a kid.
that's fair. That accent is authentic. All
Can
right.
be.
So you guys head below. You can take a short rest if you need to, prepare whatever you need to, and if you want to, we can jump ahead to when you're ready to make your next move. And Darmita, I believe you wanted to talk to Philees.
I do.
Okay. You find a moment when the two of you won't be missed. And you were right. You were watching Benkuhm kind of closely. And at one point, Benkuhm is pacing around a bit like a caged lion, just terrifying the local refugees inside. And every once in a while goes past Philees and one time playfully raps her hard on the breastplate. But somewhat playfully, just kind of as a little... and
Yeah, very different than how he's been interacting with me or Fenris.
yeah, just a quick question. Does Darmita know about your friend Philees?
Yes, everyone does.
Okay, everybody knows
they
about
were
your...
on a table when they were splitting loot, and I called them over so they wouldn't get treated as loot.
Right. So you are aware that Philees is busy wearing a mimic as a breastplate. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see it after it gets wrapped. You see the mouth kind of open and this tongue go, and these
As long as
eyes.
it gets along.
Yeah.
Um,
It playfully tried to lick him.
Yeah, so you probably find me when I'm like talking logistics with what's his name, Saturn? Is that right?
Seltern.
Saturn? Yeah. So I'm probably just talking about what sort of things can we get? Because I do want to get some holy water.
Absolutely, you can have.
That's just going to be useful.
You can have easily
I also
about
want
6.
to get them in touch with my friends. Wink, wink. Which I can do tonight. It's relatively early still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're planning on taking a short rest, and doing another ritual, and then it'll be late and we'll go to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, cool. So make sure I have the timeline. Yeah.
Depending how things go.
Yeah.
All right, so it seems like a fairly good time to meet us. She's a bit off on her own, just capping some water skins, which are filled to the brim. You get about 6 water skins worth and 2 flasks worth of holy water.
Is a different unit of measure that I need to know about? Or is it just flavor?
Just container size. Water skin probably has about 3 times as much as a flask.
Good to know. All right.
So that you got lots.
If it's the type of water skin I'm thinking of, they're pretty robust.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
It's like a reinforced hide.
yeah, it's
Like
like
a little rope on the side.
yeah, it's exactly what I'm thinking.
It's a little
of.
bigger than the kind that I saw growing up, like going camping and stuff. They're a little bit bigger. I mean, they basically take a sheep's stomach or intestines are good for that sort of thing.
And we probably saw the same type growing up in the bush and whatnot. So yeah, okay, makes
There's
sense.
also D&D stats if we want to use the book. Like, they carry
Book.
A certain amount of volume.
You can look that up on break.
Yeah.
Rules are made to be ignored.
Yeah, they don't carry that much when you compare it to how much you need to drink a day.
No, that's fair. You would probably go through one a day, give or take. Yeah.
According to the rules, you go through 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sucks. Anyway, the survival rules are bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not here to talk about
Ideally,
that.
you get 2 of those a day, but you could survive on 1 a day. Anyway, let's keep on keeping on. So you're mentioning this to Darmita as she walks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to walk up pretty, which probably looks awkward to anybody watching. Darmita trying to be casual.
Seldon, do you think we can get a barrel? I don't know if there's any that you found salvageable down here. It's just, Benkuhm could carry one very easily. It would be very nice.
I can see what we can find. Oh, hello, Darmita. I can try to find something.
Steal Philees from you for a minute?
Sure.
Do you need her?
No. I'll see what I can do
think we're
about
done here.
finding a barrel.
Very good.
Do you mind if we talk for a second? If you're not too busy?
I'm not busy at all.
Okay. I thought we could just kind of take a walk.
Oh, very good. I do enjoy exploring down here. There's never enough time to actually look in every nook and cranny, and there's always got to be something, right?
I know she likes to go explore.
Yep. So you guys walk off into the dark, and it's weird. As you walk, there's this little gnome walking along, kind of looking around very excitedly, of Philees, and then Darmita's kind of walking along, cruising along next to her, and when you come into the light of these ever glowing torches, these continual light flames on the wall, it's the 2 of you walking along, and as you leave that light and keep exploring a little bit further, Darmita just fades from view when you leave that light.
Yeah.
And it's just Philees. You can kind of make out slightly in the dark, and then back into the light as you're walking.
To that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Does that impact you? Like, do you?
I get that. I mean, I've been with you long enough that I'm used to that thing. It is I remember being off-putting when I first saw it, right? 'Cause it's that'd be incredibly shocking as someone who's, has superior dark vision, right? But I think it's been long enough.
So yeah. Sorry to take you away from things, and I know you said the other day or earlier that you really want to leave, and I do too, and so does Fenris.
Very good.
And that is the point of order, as soon as possible. But before we do that, we need to take care of a matter, and we need your help. So,
Is this about the Benkuhm thing? I think I remember that being brought up earlier.
yeah. Have you noticed he's not, himself?
Well, I suppose you've known him longer than I have.
Well, he's my best friend. Was.
Well, what were you going to say? Sorry, go ahead.
I want him back. I don't know what has possessed him. Fenris believes he's been possessed. Whatever it is, I think is threatened by me. and he's pushing away from me. So I can't get, close to him. He doesn't trust me. He doesn't listen to me anymore. So, but I have noticed he's taken quite a fondness to you. You calm him when no one else can.
I'm not entirely sure if that's entirely accurate, but I'll take the compliment.
You do. He seems not as angry and not as suspicious of you as he does of Fenris and I. He's avoided both of us quite heavily, and he's been quite snarky with me. He's not that way with you.
I suppose I'm not entirely noticing the differences, but please, what is your intention?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I know that if I asked him, essentially, Fenris believes that the way that we helped the captain, Henrietta?
Mrs. Pedersen.
Yeah. Well, Fenris believes the way that we helped her would potentially work to help Benkuhm too. The thing
Well,
is,
I think it's
alter.
Sorry, I spoke over you there. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm not sure either how to do this, so I mean, if you have an idea.
Well, I would say that it is worth trying. I likely will do nothing, to be entirely honest. A different nature of where whatever's affecting them is coming from. But I can't imagine it being he's lived through more terrible experiences than most people ever. If something is not pleasant about the experience, I'm sure he would still be fine. So, not a huge risk involved.
Well, here's the thing. I don't believe he'll do it willingly. Because there's something that has some level of control over his consciousness that I think would not want to be removed. And I don't believe we can just simply say, hey, Benkuhm, hop up on that platform and let's do some eradicating for you. He's not going to listen.
Well, Peterson also did not go willingly, if you think about it. She was unconscious, I believe.
Well, yeah, she was almost dead, whatever. But I don't want to do that to him. He's important to me. I just want to get whatever it is out. I don't want him dead. And
how long was
our best bet to...
How long was the procedure? Sorry.
It only took a few moments. Well, I mean, they had to cleanse the altar, but that's already done. So
yeah, there was like a weird singing ritual thing. We did a beat. I don't know how if it's too long.
It was essentially a skill challenge where those present had to find a way to help.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you can... I think that he would be less suspicious if you somehow wandered with him toward that space, and I don't think he'd be as suspicious if you were asking him to be maybe sitting up there with you or something, as he would.
I would be perfectly willing to do that. Have you spoken with Farah about this? Is this what is the significance of the altar? Do you know?
I don't. I think Fenris does. I don't understand all that stuff. I mean, that's way beyond my comprehension of magic.
At this point, your passive perceptions for both of you are fairly high. You hear footsteps coming from behind you.
Are we still downstairs or do we wander upstairs?
You're still down below. I haven't bothered changing the map.
Yeah,
but-
it was a question more for Bella.
Yeah, you're in the tunnels, in the various burial chambers and preparatory chambers in the crypt.
I'm
In the catacombs, rather.
in the direction that I hear the footsteps.
Once it draws your attention, you definitely recognize the heavy footfalls of your longtime companion, Benkuhm, padding through the halls behind you. He is
not necessarily towards us, or
he is coming in your direction fairly quickly.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like pacing by or something.
It doesn't sound like you guys are pretty much, by the way, near the entry chamber, near that tomb of the unknown warrior, where you guys fought the mesoliths. No, the soldier ones, the demons.
They wouldn't be Mesoliths.
No,
that's
not
a
those.
whole new faction.
No.
Where we got
Yeah, there is where that sword was in the with the unknown woman who did a miracle of Pelor, and in her presence everything just seems so calm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I get nervous.
Maragon, that's what they're called. Sorry.
And I'm like, I think we should probably go.
At this point, Benkuhm turns around the corner and sees you both just standing there. That you're in a fairly lit spot, and he comes marching forward. He seems grumpy and kind of looks back over his shoulder.
And for him?
He looks at both of you and takes you in a... Oh, you. Fine. Those people.
Where are you up to?
They were looking funny. They were looking at me funny.
Who?
Farah. That little wimp Seltern. They're all just...
I believe they're making certain preparations that are going to take some time, and I was actually hoping to look around a bit more upstairs. If you're willing to go with me, that might be might work quite well.
Can you do a persuasion check for me there, Philees?
And I'm gonna add to that. I don't know if you'll give him or.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I just want to add, Philees was asking me to go, but I've got stuff I have to do. Would you mind helping Philees?
Sure, I'll take that as advantage on her roll.
What I get?
Oh, I don't know.
Of course you did.
No, come on.
It was a natural one, but with advantage.
No, it was not a natural one. I have a -2 to my charisma. That was a 3
Oh, that was
on
a 3.
the die.
Oh, I thought it was another one. Darcy rolls so many ones. I don't know how that... but with advantage, it ended up being a 10.
Benkuhm's
Fine.
not incredibly wise.
No, he's not.
It's true, yeah.
He's like, fine. I'll watch your back, little one.
Oh, thank you.
Don't take
thank
too
you.
long.
And I'm going to head the other way.
All right. You go around the corner as Benkuhm and Philees kind of make their way up the stairs to the secret.
Darmita, was that actually everything you wanted to speak on? I didn't mean to cut our conversation short.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm good. I just, I think it's a good idea to go do some exploration before we get out of here. And the sooner we can get out of here, the better.
Very good. Seltern brings up any barrels or and stuff. Please,
Oh, yeah, why don't you talk?
let us know.
Yeah,
Sorry,
talk about those, about potentially doing that barrel thing. But I just want you to be ready so that when the preparations are all done, we can get out of here as quick as possible.
It's about time. Benkuhm stalks off up the stairs.
Cool.
Philees follows. And Darmita, where do you want to go?
She just she lets out a sigh of relief that didn't go as bad as she thought it might. But she's still really ambivalent about this whole thing. I don't know. I'm gonna hustle back and let Fenris know what transpired, that what Philees is attempting to do, to position. I don't know how you're gonna do that. I don't. But and I will also inform him that Benkuhm is suspicious because he picked up on them watching him. And so not cool. Little bit of...
All right, so Darmita goes and gets them ready, and we can jump ahead to upstairs if you like. Philees, you're standing in the high hall alone with this absolutely massive Goliath kind of pacing around.
I was like, alone?
Yeah. With the Goliath up top in the high hall.
Great. So I wasn't trying to deceive Benkuhm at all.
No.
I figured that plan was for like a few hours from now. I just actually wanted to look around up here. So I'm like going off and looking at like stained glass things, anything we haven't explored, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're kind of poking around, and it's actually a little reminiscent of the conversation you
Start
had.
down at the bottom, like, can I do a ping? Yeah, so
Yeah.
down here-ish.
Sure.
First.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're kind of checking out the areas you haven't been in yet. Generally, it's kind of similar to the description you had before, where it's a lot of this place has been desecrated. There are, as you head down, peek past the curtain and look around, Benkuhm again wanders up to that altar where Hen had that ritual, but you kind of ignore this and peek through. You see some stairs. Let me remember where those gear.
I will actually like take a look at that then. If Benkuhm is specifically taking an interest in the altar,
He's do an insight check for me.
I'd love to. Yeah. Insight check. I do not have proficiency. Okay. 17.
That's pretty good. You catch two things. Number one, he's staring at this altar, and his general demeanor is angry most of the time these days. I don't think you knew him well when he wasn't ever angry. So it's just kind of same old Benkuhm. But Darmita says he wasn't always that way. And you can actually get a glimpse behind the anger as it kind of falls away. And for a moment, he just stands there, kind of almost rocking a little bit back and forth, looking at this altar. And the other thing you pick up is he's quietly muttering. Yeah, what is that?
Oh, do you think there's something else about the altar? I never actually got a good look at it. Now that you are taking interest. Does it mean anything to you that it doesn't to me? And I'm gonna like go take a look at this altar. Is there any like cool stonework that I can like pick something up on? Can I do
It's
a religion
absolutely
check?
beautiful. You can do a religion check, sure.
Yeah.
It is the high altar that once desecrated, now what do we say? Consecrated, that's the word. Altar of Pelor. And it is, it's beautiful, and it's stained with blood of both humans and devils, but it is still a work of art. This beautiful stonework has been, you appreciate stone a lot, being an underground gnome. And you see that someone who worked on this had master craftsmanship. The stonework is intricate but not gaudy. It is extremely well made, and it has, even as you get close, you get a sense of it being holy now. It is the stench of the desecration has been washed away, and you can actually tell that this is a holy it radiates with this subtle vibration of a benefit, of a blessing. And with your 23, you get the sense that this, similar to, I don't remember if you knew this, but the other altar, which wasn't desecrated, this altar in and of itself just being so prayed near and so blessed and so part of the rituals, with the right homage, this can work minor miracles.
You know, I missed how deep these bloodstains are. I figured that it would be washed away, but I guess I don't have a lot of experience with that, so maybe not.
Most of them have been, but it's definitely been stained a little bit. You can still see where the devils went to work, like painting with sinew, and even though Seltern and many of the other people from below did scrub it, it still has a hint here and there, just of its former desecration. But it is once again a holy thing.
What are your thoughts on the gods? Because, I mean, this can work through miracles. It's not nothing.
I don't want a miracle. I just want to be... Yes.
Huh?
Free.
Well, I suppose under
He
the right
turns with sudden
circumstances, anything is...
interest and looks at you. Do you know, can this stone set things free?
In what way? Like from binds?
While I know I might always exude confidence and poise and intelligence, I sometimes pretend that I know things.
That is all right.
Yeah. You...
Well,
and
go
he
ahead,
kind of
sorry.
hunkers down. You know things quite a lot.
I like to think I do.
Can I tell you a secret?
Well, you don't have to be telling it in front of Barabantokota, but yes.
I pick this up. And he points to the sword that's slung on his back. The great sword. This sword contains a secret. It can get us out of here. It could do all kinds of good things. For us. For me.
Did I see you using it to create a wall of fire earlier? That was not unusual. That was unusual for you, so I don't know if I'm overstepping to assume such a thing.
I mean, I know
I wasn't
things.
really paying attention. I was kind of terrified at the time, but I think that's what I remember.
I know things, but yeah, it can do things, and I'll be able to do more things. But it's it wants me to let it out. Do you think I should?
And it depends on what that would entail. May I take a look at it?
Do a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Sure. Give me 2 nat ones. Where's the button? All right, persuasion.
Yeah.
Again, that is a natural 3. I just have a -2. Just want to be clear about this.
All right. It still looks like a 1, I just have to say.
Look, it's way funnier if you get a -2. That's all, or a -1.
He kind of chuckles. You. And he pats you heavy on the head. Take 1 hit point damage.
Sure.
And he goes, "You're too small to wield this one." Good one.
That was not actually my intent. I just wanted to take a look at it.
Yeah. Funny. I like you. He turns around and looks back at the altar, and he kind of looks at his hands and leans on it, and you get the distinct smell of burning flesh for a second, and you see his muscles tense as his hands are on this stone altar, and he grimaces a little bit, and then he begrudgingly takes his hands back and rubs them, and you can just see a little wisp of smoke leaving both palms, and a slight...
He wears it on his back, right?
Yeah.
Or how does... So
It's
when
slung
he's
across his
doing
back.
that, can I just look at the sword? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I just want to see it.
Sure, do an investigation check, please.
All right, cool. That's a 5. Bad die roll.
You don't spend a lot of time near heavy weaponry, so
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
it's a
No,
large
I was hoping to
sword.
find like some filigree of like a god or something.
It doesn't. It's the closest you can get is it is immaculately detailed with swirling. I wouldn't say runes. You don't recognize any runes, but you can see these swirling etchings in it. It is beautiful, and it appears to be extremely well made. And there's an ever so slight kind of protrusions where there might be almost like eyes in a way, but it is just kind of lumps on the cross guard, and that's kind of all you get. It's a beautiful piece. It definitely, your arcane knowledge is enough that you can get the idea that it is, if it's not magical, it is incredibly well made. Someone really spent their time on it, but besides that, it just looks like a giant metal sword.
Yeah. Well, if there's no specific thing you want to do with the altar here, then perhaps we should move on.
Falurie.
Yes.
I think there's probably almost no chance in hell, pardon the pun, that you would have willingly gone back down into the tunnels. So I'm gonna say you're perched up somewhere in the high hall, unless you really wanted to go below with them.
No, I would definitely stay up here.
All right, so you are you see them come by. You've overheard parts of this just from your perch, as it were. You're actually quite up high near that pipe organ on the balcony, but you can see them and make out, and it is echoey in here, so you've heard kind of some of their less guarded talk. Actually, most of it, actually.
Okay. I might have heard them, but having just met these fine folks, I'll keep the information and store it to myself, and hopefully something down the line, enables me to put the puzzle pieces together.
Absolutely. All right. So,
I'm not entirely sure what you meant by free. If you'd like to, try something, we can. I'm always up for seeing what happens.
You know how to make this thing work? He motions towards the altar.
Some sort of offering, I believe. I do have something which probably won't work, but I'd love to see what happens. I want to pull out the locks of hair that I took from the unnamed soldier, or whatever their name was.
Okay. So you pull them out.
Cool.
He just kind of
Might
looks
see
at them.
what, I think that this might be something. There was something strange about the woman, definitely. But we would need some form of intent, I would imagine. Otherwise, we're simply asking for a random boon, and, well, that never works out well.
Your religion knowledge is enough that...
Yeah, that's what I did good on.
Yeah, you did. You got a 23 earlier. You know enough that altars, I mean, the gods can be pleaded to work for anyone, but and if they wish to help, they will. However, if you have a person who has devoted their lives to such a being, it is that much more potent and viable.
Right.
All right. At about this time, the rest of the group starts coming up. Farah and Seltern and Henrietta, helping Henrietta up the stairs, and Darmita and Fenris. Are you bringing the old man? Or are you bringing Archibald? Who's in for this?
Lulu is with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think this is Archibald's bag. This is probably a little too. I feel like Archibald's getting drunk.
Oh, he is, but he also, because Henrietta is a bard and pretty chatty, he did strike up some conversation with her at one point, and they've actually been getting along pretty well. In a way, Fenris, it's kind of reminiscent of when she struck up conversation with you in the prison way back at the beginning. Unlikely, she turns to him and is like,
But what's your story?
he looks back at her and is like, oh, what's yours? I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
And it's
Probably the first time you've seen Henrietta at least crack a bit of a grin. And she's like,
you couldn't handle it, but you could certainly try.
Well, I think one thing I would do before we go up, I would probably check with Henrietta and Farah, and let them know, hey, it's Benkuhm who's cursed. It's Alstrin's sword. When he attuned to it, there's some type of demon or devil that's trying to possess him. Probably will kind of shake up Henrietta a little bit, but maybe that has partly something to do why Alstrin was so crazy. But
Honestly, not a lot surprises me around you anymore.
Yeah. Do you have a means to break
does sound
the
like a chipmunk,
attunement?
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does a little bit.
A little bit.
Do you have, I would ask her, do you have a means to break the attunement? There was a moment earlier when it seemed like we were able to break the bond between him and the sword, but it was only temporary. But I'm thinking this altar, it helped with you in the helmet. It could help here.
Right. I think I know something that might help.
And
You're not the
as
only
they-
one who's been busy.
I'll look at this person who I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a relationship, but I am trusting Golden Eyes because Benkuhm does or did, and I'll just look at her and be like, "Do not hurt him if you don't have to, and be very careful and quick because he will not be willing in this. It's got a deep hold on him that I can't even break through."
She kind of looks at you deeply and gets a read on you and gives a little nod.
I can see you care for him. We'll be careful. We'll be ready.
Okay. So are we...
All right, you guys are up at the top. You kind of walk through the curtain as you see Benkuhm and the little gnome standing next to each other, an unlikely pair, standing in front of the high altar of Pelor. This is not where you thought you'd be a week ago, there, Fenris.
are the others there as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all there. And you kind of
Okay.
lead the way in.
Either asked Benkuhm to put the hair on the altar for me, or asked me to boost me up onto it.
Sure.
Whichever makes more sense.
He bends down and scoops you up, almost like lifting
Yeah.
nothing, and just
Yeah.
and just holds you high enough to reach the top of the altar.
Okay.
And do another religion check for me there. Okay, so the boon, the hair lock, is that your contribution? What would you like to what skill would you like to try here to make this contribution there, Philees?
I feel like that's not like an active skill. That is a component that is being used.
Yeah,
right?
and that's absolutely affecting things, but for the better or for the worse. But how would you like to use this?
I suppose I'm trying to present the offering in a way that it would be accepted, which would be religion.
Okay, go ahead and roll religion.
Unless there's like no reason why this should work. No, it's only 10.
All right. You place the lock of hair on the altar, and it sits on atop the altar. It doesn't move. There's a slight breeze, but that's all you notice now.
Are there actually bells ringing, or is it just like ambiance?
Sorry, that's just ambience.
Because like that is a red flag right there. that's like a great cinematic beat. Like
actually, Falurie, at this point, you've been on the in the area where the massive pipe organ and other instruments are up on the balcony. You kind of been looking at this, and you tap one of the keys at that moment, and that's what the ever so slight tone of actually, Falurie, can you do, out of curiosity, are you trained in performance?
Definitely no.
Okay. Do an investigation check for me.
That'll be an 8.
It's got lots of buttons. I think you've seen instruments before. You gather now that you've pressed a few. Yeah, this thing plays music when you push on a button. It's fairly loud if you push it hard.
I push it hard.
Okay then. Can I get you to do a performance check for me? Which you are not trained in. Charisma, if you...
That's okay.
Alright, let's... 2.
Love it.
At this moment,
All the charisma checks are 3s.
a screeching, hellish tune begins to erupt from this organ. And even though you just played a few keys, it keeps playing more like a player piano out of control.
Fuck, I fly away.
No kidding.
Okay, that is not a good sign. There's
The
definitely some
whole
devils
area
coming soon.
just rattles with the
Benkuhm, be on
noise.
guard. You might get that fight you were looking for.
Benkuhm spins around and sees the others, locks eyes with Fenris. We won't have long. What are you doing here?
Taking care of some business, and then we'll be on our way. And I nod to the others, and with that, I cast Hold Person.
All right.
We take a break before we get into this.
I think this is
Probably a good
probably a
idea.
good time to take a quick little break.
And I will say, like, if you were not planning on having some devils show up, I will spend a plot point on that because holy crap, hellish organ, let's do this. That's such a thing.
The clock is ticking. All right, everybody.
Yes.
We're going to take a 10, 15? What do you need?
10's fine. 10's
Let's take a 10.
Keep it as short as we can because we're running out of time.
I'm thinking more about Archibald. Pardon, Darmita?
Oh, this Archie. I'm like,
Archie.
here. This Archie. No, it's still a wee bit early to take them out. I don't really do it till about 10:30. So, or sorry, 12:30.
Okay. Well, we should be done by then. That's my plan. Wrap up at a reasonable time. All right, so we will be back in 10 minutes to go have yourself a dart. That's the true Canadian way to say it. Double. Get yourself a nice little... play a quick round of Kurokano, and we'll see everybody back here in a little bit, eh? All right.
Before Hey, can I just ask for one favor from Darcy?
Sure.
Please do Henrietta's voice.
Yeah, is it throwing you off me doing it? I need to remind myself what it is.
I actually haven't heard in such a long time. So, like, I know what I would do if I was put on the spot, which I guess I am.
This is
I don't even know if it's correct, right? I need something to say. Oh, I guess we're going on break now. See you on the other side. Something like that, maybe? That might have been it. I don't remember.
That was pretty good. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll be back in about 10. All right. I believe we are back. Hi, Internet. Hello, Internet. We're playing some Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna get back right at it. There was a large words. Maybe I need a little more of this. Hey, Internet, what's your beverage right now? Mine? Decaffeinated tea. Because I'm old now, and it's late. And I need to go nap soon. But not before I TPK. Nothing. So we're going to dive back in. Just kidding. So we're going to dive back in and jump back. I think the cameras, yeah, we're still good now. All right, so you guys are in the High Hall. This incredibly loud cacophony of sound has echoes off through the various buildings in the surround. It is certainly the entire cathedral is alive with this terrible, awful music. And Falurie, after a few more seconds, goes flying out of the balcony area where the sound, because it's in this incredibly reverberatory space, seems to be coming from all around. The stones themselves vibrate slightly, but it's all mixed in with these horrible, almost scream-like sounds as it all goes through. It's just, it's a whole thing. It's awful. So what do you do?
I think Benkuhm turned to us and said something, and then...
Yeah, he turns around and says, "What do you want? Fenris, what do you want?"
I want to get out of here, but first we need to take care of some unfinished business.
I agree.
Good.
He kind of changes his stance a little bit and reaches up, pats the sword, strokes it lovingly, draws it, releases it, and just stands there with it at his side.
Is the spell going to go off or not? I was not acting because I assumed that the previous action still stood.
Sorry, what was it? The hold person.
The hold
right?
person.
All right, so that's when you release it. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, actually, everybody, just in case.
I really feel like he should be able to preempt because why
fair.
is Benkuhm attacking us?
Am I rolling initiative?
Yes, please. Roll initiative, everybody.
That'll be 27 for me.
Falurie.
Did you roll for Benkuhm? Or is it a separate thing? Or how do you want to do
Benkuhm.
it? Okay.
Oh.
What's going on with my Beyond Damn 20? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Darmita is 21 point something.
Yeah, it adds my my dex mod because
Well, then you tiebreakers can. Yeah. Unfortunately, the dice cam wasn't working. Let me see if I can get that fixed while you guys are rolling. Because the people, they want to see the dice rolls. It's all about the dice rolls. Come on.
Yeah, I still don't have my character linked with the Roll20, so I can't really have the accurate dice roll. So
It's not finding the correct channel. Sorry, guys. So we're going to have to be without dice for this one. You'll have to call out your dice rolls and trust. All right. How'd you do, Philees?
I got an 11.
Okay. And, okay. Somebody want to roll for Archie?
Oh, sure. I didn't think about him participating in this. I thought he was still downstairs.
No, they're all here.
pardon me. So Todd, where did you have me fly down to after playing the melody for you guys?
Why don't you go ahead and place yourself somewhere? You can see them all kind of clustering up. Actually, you know what? Just for the Avengers moment, we'll have you kind of fly in behind them, like, and then settle down just off to the far left of
The left.
far left of Fenris there, kind of perched
All right.
fairly close to Farah, the half-orc acolyte of Pelor, who's suddenly looking at this barbarian like,
total is an Archie initiative.
27? All right.
Yeah, wow.
So we're tied.
All right. And Fenris, what was yours?
12.
12. All right. You did declare what you wanted to do as Benkuhm draws the blade and stands kind of square in front of you. Philees turning around and actually kind of drops you as he turns, so you're no longer eye level. You can go tiptoe and get eye level with the
What's going on?
with the altar. But you turn around and see everybody posting up and Fenris standing in front of the others.
Mm-hmm.
You see Benkuhm crack his neck, just get ready to go, and
I'm looking very confused right now.
he stands stock still as Fenris finishes. Did you subtle that, or is it just, did he see it coming?
I mean, I guess in the context, I would have been trying to be sneaky. I guess it just depends on if he was expecting to fight or not. Like before we broke, I would have. Yeah.
Well, basically, he turned around and had time to do that little exchange that you just had, and then your spell can go off. So if you want to make it obvious, you can make it obvious. If you want to make it subtle, you can make it subtle. It's your choice.
So I would make it subtle.
Okay, so go ahead and spend your sorcery points. I figured that would be in character for you, so that's good.
That would have been in character. So no somatic, no verbal, just whoop. Just, okay. Done. And was that his saving throw? Okay.
That was his saving throw. So he gets, I believe it's a flat save for his wisdom saves.
Yeah, I do believe it is.
So he got a 7. That's a fail.
Okay.
He stands stock still, locked, his jaw clenched, staring down at you from his almost, how tall is he? Like almost 8-9 feet? He certainly seems imposing.
He's tall.
All right.
He's over 8. He's at close to 8 or over.
Yeah.
Make it quick, guys. I just kind of.
Hey, so guys, what are we doing? I don't understand what's happening.
Falurie, you did notice that the sound carries, and those flights of flying devils that are out over the city, they will have heard that.
Of course. All right. So I will, when I see him stiffen,
Yep.
knowing, because I did participate or somewhat participate in the last one with Lulu. I will look at Benkuhm and try to look him directly in the eye, like really make eye contact and try to stare into his soul. And I will say, you are better than whatever it is that has control over you. We need to get you away from it. Don't resist.
He's unable to answer or move.
I know.
Just stares locked at you.
It's
You
just
hope that he heard you.
my contribution.
Well, you know that he
Love
heard
it.
you. All right. Would you like to?
Talking is a free action. Are the like actual casters who are like the ritualists instructing anything? Are they like, we need to get them actually on the altar, that kind of stuff? Like,
They're about to. I mean, I did the initiative roll just wondering what was going to happen, but the very first thing that happened is you guys locked him tight. So we're going to keep that banked,
yeah.
but we're not under strict initiative rolls right now. So at this point, Henrietta, well, I'm going to get back to her. Henrietta motions to the others.
Right? Well, it's your show. Let's get this on the way. Don't like making that much noise.
All right, through gritted teeth, I say, get him on the altar, take away the sword, and tie him down right quick. I can only hold him so long.
Okay, so Fenris remains standing there,
I will-
maintaining this.
I'll get on that.
Okay, you alone cannot move him. Even Henrietta moves over. Even Archibald comes up and mutters to Benkuhm. You hear him say, "Look, I'm sorry, big guy. Don't think this is gonna hurt." Even Lulu comes over and just kind of pats, instead of helping move him, just busy patting his hand as the rest of you. We're gonna need strength checks from everybody. They're struggling. Falurie, are you gonna go and help them, or are you gonna stand back? What are you gonna do?
what is going on? There's people
Well,
coming.
are we expecting those flighted devils to come soon? Do we need someone to take a look? Or is this taking the precedence?
Doesn't appear that anyone else seems to have noticed those. You were the one keeping watch from the top. But
the
they
way-
are struggling.
Is this a straight athletic or straight strength or an athletics or
I would allow it athletics.
Okay, I'll swoop in.
not that will help me much, but
It'll be easy for our friend Commander Pedersen, who has, I believe, expertise in athletics.
Absolutely.
So do I.
So, everyone, but she's in a bad way. So everybody gets to roll their athletics to try and assist.
well,
Yeah, I mean, if I see everyone like pile on, I'm going to take a
24.
step back.
They're
That's
being
not a scene I
very
wanna be part of.
gentle and helping him. There's a little space right near his head where it's locked tight, and they're trying to pivot him around and lay him down on the altar.
I got a 24.
Oh, damn. All right, Falurie does a few flaps, gets over the altar, lands behind, and just starts gently and very adeptly helping maneuver him. Archibald is coming in at a 13. It's not his forte, but he's trying to help. Pedersen, she's been pretty roughed up, so she only got about a, I think that's a 17. What was yours, Bela? Ooh.
that would be a cut.
That's a 4. As you're trying to like lever him and like you're pulling down, and even Seltern and Farah kind of get in on the act, and they look a little doubtful over to Fenris as they're trying to wrestle this. God, how heavy would a Goliath that size be? I wouldn't even want to venture it. Wrong button. Sorry, folks. I clicked the wrong screen. Sorry about that.
I'm actually going to make a perception test because that's what Philees will be doing.
Absolutely.
Moving around. 19.
19. All right.
Just as a rider, yeah. Don't worry about it.
The sound of the cacophony has died down, but you can hear kind of echoes off in the distance. You get the feeling that you're not going to be up here by yourselves for very much longer.
Did you all want to do this now? I thought I had more time to look around. This is so disappointing.
And I just turn and look at Philees with a look like, we're not stopping now.
Don't let me stop you. Keep an eye out for more devils.
All right, so Philees is keeping an eye. Nothing yet. All right.
Probably more like I listen, honestly, because that's what you're gonna hear first.
Yeah.
So do we have him tied down already, or
So
are
you've
we
got
still
him
in
on the
process?
altars. It's not an easy thing to tie him down to this. So
Can Hen use some manacles? Because she would be carrying them.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. None of you managed to get the sword from his grip. Oh, actually,
Not even that 24?
no, the 24. Sorry, Falurie, you see them just struggling, and this massive greatsword in his hand is going to stab somebody as you're pinioning him up onto this thing. You take it and try to pull it away. His grip is intense. You're not sure if it's the hold magic or whether he's willfully holding on to this. I'm going to ask you, are you by any chance... let's do one more athletics check from Falurie. With the assist, as Archibald is trying to help you at the same time, sees what you're doing.
So,
you
I have
advantage.
a 16. Okay,
You
so
have
I'll roll
advantage.
again.
You can roll again.
So that'll be 20.
All right, 20 is what you needed. So you pry this massive sword through, and it feels incredibly warm to the touch as you got this, and you look up. Okay, you've got the greatsword out of his hands. He's up on the altar. Fenris, what do you want to do? Henrietta is busy manacling him as best she can. She can only really get one hand or feet. She does his feet.
She does his feet. Okay.
His other arm is still locked in the position it was while it was holding the
Makes sense,
greatsword.
yeah.
You know what? I am going to. I mean, I do notice that the bell was ringing, so I'm gonna maintain the hold person, but I am also going to do a perception check to see if we have any incoming enemies.
Sure. You glance around. Go ahead, make the check.
Whoa, 26, not 20.
What do your Fenris eyes see? So you glance around and you manage to look out one of the stained glass windows and see a reflection of a flight of spine devils and a few even bigger things, but they're quite far off. But they're flying fast in this direction towards, and they're not coming together. There's kind of one group of bigger things kind of coming this way. Probably like a quarter mile that way, maybe. And then you look the other way and you see some smaller flights of things coming this way from another window. So things are beelining towards this cathedral, but you have a few moments at best.
Okay. Hurry up, guys. 2 flights of flyers coming in fast. That's it.
What do you guys want me to do with this sword? I can't really use it. You want me to drop it or what?
For now, keep it away from him.
Far away from him.
We want to see another save.
Falurie,
Somewhere.
do a wisdom save, please.
Ooh, love it.
Mm-mm.
Wisdom save? Did you? What do you got?
Who's doing the wisdom save?
You are.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, what the Tabarnak? Yeah, I was
It's a kid show. Actually, it's not. Go ahead and swear all you like. That was French for lots of language right there. Whew.
Wisdom save, that's 11.
Uh-oh.
Are
Everything
monks
else-
not proficient in wisdom?
No.
Everything
Oh,
else
cool.
kind of fades away, like someone just turned the volume down. And you hear glorious. It's almost like for a moment you're back on that day of the ceremony with your friends. And that same feeling of accomplishment and joy at graduation, that kind of rush comes over you. And you look around at the faces of your friends, some of who you're surprised to see because you know that now they're gone. They're dead, some of them. And then you look up ahead to the face of your, what would essentially be your headmaster, your mentor. But it's not your mentor's face, it's another face it's hard to make out. It's shifting a little bit. It's oddly intense but beautiful at the same time. And they open their mouth and a different voice comes out than the one you know, and it says,
Why, hello. You're new here. Falurie, yes?
Yes?
It's
Yes.
good to know you. Welcome. What do you intend to do with that sword?
I have not given much thought yet.
You
Such
should
objects
think
are.
carefully about what you want. Or what you need. Because I can give that to you.
So at this point, I'm totally under the spell of this, right? So it's
What do they do?
I want to accomplish my mission.
You want someone. Who do you want?
I described to him my mark. I want to find. I want to kill.
Give me a name.
Sarnia. I want to find Sarnia.
I can help. Free me. And I will bring her. I'll bring you. I'll even bring your friends. And the big one. He can help too. We can do anything.
Bring me to her.
In due time. Now. Lay the sword on the chest of the Barbarian.
I go ahead and figure out the pointy end goes to the right spot, and I put the sword on his chest.
okay.
The right way, hopefully.
You place it against him?
Yes.
And hold it there. All right. Darmita. You
Yeah.
hear Farah beginning muttering in prayers in Celestial to... You're probably... Well, some of you guys know Celestial. You hear her beginning prayers, beseeching a boon of Pelor, a blessing, to help? How do you wish to help? You're holding down his leg in shackles of your friend, blinking back tears.
Do I see at this point, is this prior to Falurie?
You see Falurie kind of holding the sword and looking around resolutely, and then placing, you hear, do a perception check for me, actually.
Yeah, I feel like stuff probably could happen during that whole scene. Give people time to...
It was very short, but see what you
noticed.
noticed.
You know. Pull it away, put it back.
16.
16. She mutters something. You heard Falurie mutter a name, and you heard what the name was. And then you see Falurie put the sword, the pommel against the barbarian's chest and lay it against him and hold it there with purpose.
Yeah. Knowing full well that Fenris had said, and I had said, get it far away.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
What do I do? I freaking shit huge. I gotta figure out. I didn't expect this.
All of a sudden, Benkuhm's legs start kicking, and the shackles go taut around his ankles as his arms come loose. As he wrests himself free from the hold person with a successful save of 19.
That was tearing me up so much. I'm so glad you did that.
He is no longer under your spell, Fenris. And he is... And he's yelling away in Giant. Does anyone speak Giant?
No. I never did learn that one.
He's basically saying, you know, all those words that Falurie was saying earlier, but instead of in French, he's saying them in Giant.
Yeah. I'm going to attempt using my cloak. Like I'll have my cloak in my hand, and I am going to attempt to grab and remove that sword.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask you to do either acrobatics or athletics versus Falurie's acrobatics or athletics.
I'm doing acrobatics.
And I'm going to be doing athletics. Yeah, 13.
23.
Okay. So you catch him unaware, and you manage to pivot the sword out from Falurie's grip and slide it down towards you and trying to keep it. There is one problem, though. As you're sliding with this massive razor-sharp blade, it does run along and cut through even the magical cloak a little bit. Or maybe it just slipped off to one side and this gash appears along your hand as this thing slices you up pretty... you take 6 points of damage.
Okay.
And for a second,
I'm trying
you
to
make
keep
contact. And for 1 second, you hear something in your mind.
We need not be enemies.
I don't know if you can hear that.
No.
I assumed it was intentionally quiet, right?
We need not be enemies.
And I just out loud, so Fenris can hear me say, fuck you.
And what do you do?
Okay.
Anything you'd like me to do? Or
She's
Well, I
just
think you did
holding
it. You
this-
got the sword away.
Yep. All right.
Who's
So,
up next?
Philees, what do you want to do? You've seen all this go down.
Oh, it's me. To try to become Benkuhm. I'm sure it'll be over so quickly. Is the ritual starting? Are you coming quite surprised?
Yep. Now Henrietta
I mean,
is
I'll
busy.
try and assist in the same way I did before if there are starting the ritual. But like until then, I'm just kind of on guard, I think.
Sure. Yep. Farah's begun praying. Seltern's begun praying. Henrietta begins to join in. Even Archibald starts joining in a little bit. He's swearing
This is
every
all in
third thing.
Celestial, right?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
he
Sir
was a
Run On
schoolboy here.
said, "Something must be really interesting at that spot."
Absolutely. Hi, Sir Ronan. You're here just in time for a ritual. Possibly gone awry, possibly gone right. Who knows? So,
I will like try to, I guess join in with the rhythm effectively, even
Sure.
though I'm not saying the words because I don't know them.
that's fair. Since it's that, we'll have you do a performance check.
Hey, this is why last session I offloaded that to Archie. But I'll do it because it's fun.
You're basically doing the whole Mr. Bean thing. Like, you don't know the words,
I've
but
got
you kind of
no
get the
beat.
idea, and you're like,
I rolled a 4. It's -2.
So, and Archibald like elbows you once in a while because he actually grew up in this town, taking their stupid Sunday school stuff.
Sir Run
This is
On
why I asked you to do it last time.
said, "Fenris looks like the smart one."
Fenris, yeah, yeah, standing way back. All right, speaking of Fenris, what do you want to do? Are
Oh,
we-
so so I know he broke free, right?
Yep,
Okay, but the ritual's not over.
not yet.
Okay. You really want to do this? Okay. Bonus action. I summon a Hound of Ill Omen on Benkuhm.
The hound steps out of the shadows. They coalesce like mist
like
above him,
standing
and
on his chest.
standing on his chest, and it just
Basically.
leans down at him, and he growls up and yells in common, "You fools! You can help. You have to help me. I could save us all."
Right. Hold person using a 3rd level slot. Because I'm out of 2nd level.
Oh, it's me that has to roll.
Yes, at disadvantage.
That's right. Well, that's a 2 on the dice, so he locks in place. "You fool!"
And I am going to
Try to relax, Benkuhm. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
and I guess I roll for initiative for the hound.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to remember what the initiative is. Okay, there it is. Whoa, 21. Not bad. Woof. I'm just going to tell the wolf to grapple him and hold him down.
All right, the dog just plants its paws in ways that help hold him still. His muscles, he's easily. He's got 5 people and a dog. No, 7 people and a dog holding him down. All right, thank you. Okay. The old man kind of pats Benkuhm on the head and says, "It's all right. It'll all be over soon enough. Oh, one way or another." Falurie, the echoes of that promise in your head. You can see Darmita standing just a few feet away holding this sword.
So I guess
Kinda
I'm
give
still
your head
under
a
the.
You give your head a shake. I'm gonna give you another wisdom saving throw.
That would be a 16.
Your mind clears and you're no longer seeing your past. You see clearly what's going on. But those promises, those felt real. There is power there, if you want it. Do you want to help with the ritual? Or do you want to get the sword? What do you want to do?
I will ask if they require assistance to the limited ability I can provide to assist with the ritual, or if they want me to keep a lookout for something.
You got the distinct impression, you know that they don't want the sword there, but the sword wants to be there. It is up to you.
Darmita, what are you gonna do with the sword? I can take it off your hands. I said that in French.
Do I understand French?
Sorry, French accent.
Oh, yeah. I assume that we'll get to that on my turn.
Sure. All right. At this point, the ritual is almost complete. You can sense something. A presence here. A quiet. Can I get Bela? Can you roll a percentile dice for me, please?
Do I have to?
I'll roll it.
No, not you, Darcy. Bela.
Middle's usually best. It's the extremes that you don't want.
We hope. 58.
Henrietta, her voice rising in celestial. Her voice is surprisingly strong and commanding, even though physically she is weakened a little bit. But her voice sings out. She raises up her hand and presses it down on Benkuhm's chest.
Run on. Said. Quidak Barda Achu.
Exactly. Quidak Bard Achu. And she slams her hand down on his chest, and this pulse of light etches out across, filling like veins across his chest, upwards in, and even though he's been held, you hear this scream erupt from his lungs and just burst out from him as this light envelops him, just begins to blind everyone else nearby. After a few intense seconds, the light begins to fade, and he is still and limp on the altar, unconscious. You all fall down. Henrietta's just holding her hand against his chest. Everyone else just kind of falls to their knees. I need everybody to do a Constitution saving throw.
Including me, because I wasn't holding him at that point.
Especially you.
I was wondering, are you just held onto the sword after you got it?
She's trying to keep from holding it with the cloth.
It into my cloak, and I'm trying to back away.
That makes sense.
That got lost in translation.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that part. You got a little bit away before all this went down, but the pulse of light hits you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also a few steps away, but not
Does it hit me?
Yeah,
as well.
It filled the whole room. Just basically for a second, the entire high hall lit up like a lighthouse, a beacon of brilliant white light.
Okay.
I rolled a nat 20 for 21.
Nice.
For me.
Do you want me to roll for Benkuhm and Archie?
Yes, please.
I rolled a 21.
So this is a Benkuhm sheet. And then this is an Archie sheet. Oh, I don't actually know what his mods are for this, so
That's
it's just
okay.
basically a flat roll.
If
I assume he has some modifier, but he's not proficient. Yeah.
you needed a 15 or higher, so if you're over 15, you're still standing. Everyone else who's under 15, so that's Falurie's up. Philees has fallen over from the pulse.
Oh, definitely.
Darmita has still just holding on to the sword and trying to stay upright. Fenris is just standing there in the pulse of brilliant white light, the shadows kind of licking around you, almost like protection. Benkuhm is out. Archibald, out cold, splayed on the ground behind him. Lilu, unconscious beside Philees, just kind of muttering, at least down. Farah also finds her fallen on the ground, Seltern splayed out beside. On the plus side, you all regain. If you were damaged in any way, you regain 10 hit points. Your wounds.
Everyone or those who fell or failed?
Everybody.
Okay.
The wound that you just took from the sword knitting together in your hand. And at that particular moment, if there were windows, they would shatter inwards as these flying devils, first from one side, flying into the upper area of this massive cathedral. This on the other side where there's the frames for the glass, but the glass is gone, the frames themselves shatter as not one, not two, but 3 rocks come smashing into this temple and start circling above. You see the smaller spine devils flittering around up there above, intermixing. And the front gates pulse open, just shatter inwards, and in walks 2 massive, well, they're not that huge, horned devils, their wings fluttering closed as they decide to walk into the high hall. There's enough wind and issues that the curtains don't present too much of an issue. It's the horned devils that speak, and it's almost like they're finishing each other's sentences, like they could appear to be twins. One of them calls in, he's like, "And what do we have here?"
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't know what the situation is. Like, are we unconscious? Like are we
those who failed the saves
because
are
we can't
fallen
react.
and unconscious. Those who weren't see this happen and turn around. The room is all filled up with a bunch of devils.
Sir run on. Said. Derp, hell called, they need their devils back, even the Scottish ones.
You're bloody right.
Well, fuck.
I don't know where we the initial order.
Actually, I'm thinking this might be a good place to pause. A little bit early tonight, but we can go for a little bit longer. But I do want to stop at 12 for a change.
I just want to be able to do one more thing.
All right,
so
what do
I
you
don't
want to do?
speak.
Yeah. What do you want to do, Bella?
I to as carefully as possible go to Benkuhm, grab the bag of holding.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be difficult because he's out. I'm gonna get the bag of holding, and I'm going to put
Sir, run
the
on.
sword in the
Said.
holding.
All right.
Cliffhanger.
So you're gonna move. So you rush over and you have enough time. You don't have time to put the sword in right now, but you have enough time to go over to him, grab the bag, and pull it off his belt, and pull it to you. You're now clutching this massive sword, dragging practically this massive greatsword in one hand, and you're holding the bag of holding in your other hand. Fenris, is there anything you want to do before we close? They definitely see you. You're right front and center.
I think I just kind of look at them and say, well, fuck.
Nice. Philees, you're maybe not entirely unconscious, but you are down.
What is that? Right. Yeah. I notice, even if I'm not like really aware, like stuff happened and like
Yeah. And actually, you
stuff
feel a
maybe
hand
breaking, even though they're already broken. It's, like,
You feel a
breaking
hand
more.
clasp onto your hand, to your right. You can make out your vision is really blinded still, like not technically blinded, but you still have that after shot, and you can hear the old man's voice next to you. He's like, "It's all right. I'll help you."
They finally get here. Well, nothing they can't handle, right? Can I notice?
Let's hope.
Anything about like what has shown up?
You can make out the flying, especially the rocks up high. You can see those massive shapes.
That's what I want to know about.
The smaller ones, a little bit, they're almost like seagulls flitting above you, but the rocks are massive and going from one of them actually
I can
grabs
assess
onto a
the
perch.
situation enough to know
There's trouble.
we don't just have devils here.
Right.
This is gonna be a three-way fight. Heck yeah, let's go.
And Falurie, you caught the full brunt of that light, but the light doesn't frighten you. You might be a shadow monk, but in the blinding bright, you almost have this moment where the world fades away and you see her face. You only met her once. She's not here in the room now, but you can sense her. She's laughing. Your prey. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Alright, that's 6.
You don't know where she's come from, but you got the sense that in your conversation with the sword, how, you don't know, but you fear that your prey might know you're here now. We'll see you soon.
I see you first.
Nice. All right, and that's our smash cut to credits. We won't leave it on credits for long, but thanks very much, everybody. My name is Todd. We've been playing some Dungeons & Dragons. We are SideQuests Live. We play, I think, every Thursday as much. Maybe not next week, actually, because I'm going to be a little busy. Hey, thanks for dropping by, Sir Rana. Yeah, took a little while to get to our cliffhanger. We sneak up on our cliffhangers.
BTW.
Thanks for dropping by, and everybody else for dropping in. We have moved to Thursdays just due to scheduling, and
Run on.
Oh, I don't think I got the whispered link.
Did you get that whispered link?
I don't know that I did. Let me see if I can find that. I'll have to go looking through the places. I'll see. But internet, one thing we do want is a title for tonight's episode, or the players, if you guys want to suggest a.
I should have been thinking about this.
Battle for Benkuhm.
Battle for. Ooh, that's pretty good. I like that one.
But I was just thinking real simple. Oh, shit.
All right. Well, let's see what the internet comes up with for a title for tonight's episode. And thanks very much for everybody for joining us. I know it can be tricky scheduling and all of that. And like I said, I don't know if I'll make next Thursday. I really hope so, but it'll be my first week back full time. So I'll be a little tired, but I don't want to miss my Dungeons and Dragons. And I mean, that other show that's on Thursday, I listened to that on the podcast later anyway, so I'm not going to watch that live. But thanks for tuning in. Any other name suggestions from our internet pals? Don't forget, you can always suggest things after as well, and redeem those points for getting on my list to change the plot story. I didn't work in any of the ones from Valexion today, unfortunately, but we'll get back to that. So we don't forget. We will come back, circle it back around. What was that, Darmita? Or Bela?
Sir Run-On said, wasn't here long enough myself.
That's fair.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what whoever had made suggestions. I didn't hear it in my speakers. So what suggestions did they make?
Nothing quite yet. Sir Run-On was saying he didn't hear much of the game, so you know what? We can name it after. That's fine. Or we might just go with the Battle for Benkuhm. That's a pretty clutch title. I like that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's what we did.
Yeah. And, well, we'll see how that all panned out. I'm very interested to see where this goes. So, in the meantime, we gotta go back to our regular lives now, rolling less dice. But, Internet, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and be safe. And, yeah, we'll see you next week, hopefully. And if not, watch the Instas, and we'll get on that as soon as we can. All right. Night, everybody. Thanks very much.
Good night.
What? I'm not that guy. I can give you whatever you want. Come on. Come on. Camillus assumes the worth of sentient magic items. Come on. Just because I talk like this? Fine. We'll find out what happens next week.
All right, I'm gonna go back on stream just so we can hear
How much
it.
can we talk about?
I mean, if people have been watching, they would know some of these backstory
Yeah,
names.
but Carl doesn't.
That's true.
Well, let's go watch past.
Yeah, there
stream.
you go. Go watch the back game. We're just responding to Darcy's comment of "I can't believe you tied in Sarnia," and I was like, yeah. I was wondering if I could kind of tell you guys caught that.
All right, I have the whole next week off, so I can review all the SideQuest lives.
Now you gotta go listen to 29 episodes.
You gotta find where it is.
We're not even gonna tell you which episode. I know it was towards the middle. You guys encountered her beneath in the prison.
It wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't really matter for me, anyways.
No.
For me, it's
one technical thing, because I know Darcy's like not rules, but like you always are interested in how things are working, and I just want to point out that time between planes doesn't always line up perfectly. Some planes, or at least the passage between, it travels faster or slower, so it can get a little bit timey-wimey there. You guys experienced that with the whole like suddenly popping in and El Terrell here, and the timelines are
I'm
close,
still not
but
convinced that she's not standing in front of us. Nudge, wink, wink.
let me think about that. I might bring that up, but we'll see.
Okay, but my elderly brain is still unfunctioning. I know you said we met her in the
Twice.
underneath of the prison, and I remember. Like, I can tell you what happened before we went down underneath. I stopped the guy just because I wanted my hunter's mark back. That's a thing.
Remember when we had that showdown with Alstrin? Remember what I did at the beginning? I took care of some business quietly.
There happened to be an open doorway right there.
It was so epic too.
Just
sorry, I gotta go.
Her stiletto stiletto heels kind of click clacking across the floor, and like commanding presence, and then just woof.
Her wings were red, right? Not black?
I believe they were red, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, were her wings black this whole time? No, okay, cool.
When we were in the room where the portal was,
Mm-hmm.
and
Remember what I was doing?
they did the ritual, but we were too late, and she came up from... Yes? No?
No, the
computer does not want me to reveal.
Okay.
No, that was there, but before that, it's not revealing. I'm
beginning.
holding it up. It's refusing to show it upon the blue screen, and that's fine. We'll leave that there.
Remember, I don't know if it was on recording or not, but we talked about her possibly getting demoted due to all of that, which could be a thing. You mentioned some people being there who would fit the bill.
I'm aware.
Oh, maybe not. Who knows?
No, I think that was off stream. Darcy and I sometimes chat about like behind the scenes. I don't give spoilers, but we were talking about possibilities in the demon and devil. Oh, by the way,
Hen was coming for like 4 weeks.
Philees absolutely picked up on something. There are demons in here, rocks and devils. You guys lit up a beacon, played a giant organ, and caused a massive pulse of brilliant light, radiant, blessed light of Pelor to radiate out of this citadel. So, if your intention was to fly under the radar, not so much. What's the biggest firecracker we can light? Anyway, I just wanted to share that little conversation with the online peoples as well. So we will now go back to the credits and let you guys appreciate all the music that we have.
I really enjoyed this session. Can I just say that?
I need to change the credits. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. And Carl's name should be in the credits, so I'm going to go fix that.